So Rob, I have something for you. One of the things that you think about, the role of the CIO, but it's building this digital infrastructure, right? A lot of times when I'm talking to my peers or when I talk to someone about building this digital infrastructure, we're moving to the cloud.
Yeah.
And, oftentimes it's, hey, we're moving to the cloud. And I look at, what cloud is up there?
Yeah.
Because when I think about it, is the last time I checked about a cloud, like we run a private cloud, we connect to public clouds, but it sits in some data center somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody's running that data center. In our case, we happen to have some great data centers around the world, and Allen and Richardson, Texas, in our example. But, are data centers going away? Truth or fiction? The data center will or will not go away.
Look, it'll never go away because somebody's got to have to invest in it.
Right.
I guess the real issue is how many of our clients are going to be building their own data centers. And the one thing I've learned in this industry is that it's a pendulum. We go from extremes. I got into this business, it was all about mainframes. Then we went client server, it all went distributed.
Right.
Then we're going cloud. Well, the latest term is about edge computing and edge cloud. So I guess it depends.
Almost back to the future.
Yeah,
right?
and so it depends on your definition of data center, right? So do you have to own the bricks and mortar component part of it? To your point around cloud, I think Michael Dell was quoted as saying that he's seen a massive amount of what he talks about cloud repatriation. Now, I don't know, I guess you'd expect the server guy to be saying that because, people are going to invest in more servers. But there's an element of truth there, and I think as you look at the impact of things like IoT and what's happening right at the edge, I think that what changes is where is the data center going to be? And the reality is that you'll put your data wherever it makes most sense.
There is a data center somewhere.
There's a data center somewhere, and whether you are building the bricks and mortar yourself is becoming increasingly less relevant. But what you will find is that based on applications, based on business needs, individual clients will change, and it's going to be a constant pendulum. So
yeah, I was talking to one of our partners last week, and they mentioned, all you're doing is you're running on someone else's computer.
Yeah,
exactly. You're not running on your computer maybe for a certain set of applications.
Yeah.
But you might be running on someone else's.
Yeah.
So there's this notion of maybe hybrid.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Where is the application? What is the need? Do I need it to be more secure? Do I need latency to be at a certain requirement?
And those things are critical, right? I mean, we've got a massive FMCG client that moved all of their Office 365 into Azure, which is a fantastic use case, very good example. But the way that theirs was deployed, they ended up centralizing everything from about 90 different countries back to the US.
Right.
Guess what happened to performance? Guess what happened to latency? So when we looked at that, the ultimate solution for them was actually a hybrid solution. So absolutely cloud critical, O365 critical to what they're doing, but they needed other solutions. And it actually resulted in quite a lot of kind of remote data center workloads that we had to identify. So this hybrid world is absolutely
what's
there.
really going to be interesting, and I want to get your take on this, is think about ERP.
Yeah.
So for us, I'll give you a little bit of background. So we run our financials, our order management, accounts receivable. Yeah. We run supply chain all on our ERP platform, a consolidated platform. That runs in the range of maybe 100 million to 150 million transactions per day.
Yeah.
So now imagine as some of our providers say, well, we're going to move to the cloud.
Yeah.
What is the implication on that? You think about, now I'm back to the data point.
So some of our examples over there, across Asia, and a couple of government institutions have absolutely insisted that they've got to have in-country ERP applications, particularly around SAP. So what we've seen as a massive growth, part of our business, has been actually building out what we would call a purpose-built data center, private cloud, for our clients. So the investment is absolutely still there. The nature and why they're investing it is changing all of the time.
Yeah, because you think about large-scale transactions.
Yeah.
You have to the data thread that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That data right now might reside in my private data center, so it's running at optical speeds.
Exactly.
Right? And I know it's somewhat more secure. Now we're moving out to a cloud provider, which another set of data might be in a different cloud provider. So how do I secure that, and how do I make sure the latency.
And how do you make sure that you've got a single pane of glass across all of that in terms of the way that you manage things, right? I mean, you really need to have full end-to-end visibility of everything that's sitting across hyperscale providers, purpose-built clouds, private cloud environments, and those are all data center environments that are alive and well, and I think continue to be.
So security, latency management is what you're hitting on. Is how do we provide a single pane of glass, not a single glass of pain, like you and I talked about,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be really, really important as we start to move more and more workloads to other people's computers. Right?
So it's been a great discussion, but I've got to tell you, I think the answer to the question you asked, will data centers, as we know them, kind of, go away? To my view, that's a fiction. I think data centers will continue to exist. They have to exist, but their purpose and the way that they exist, the way that you manage, is fundamentally changed forever.